think it's great to use the keyboard shortcuts that come with Autodesk Revit, but why not set up your keyboard shortcuts so that they suit you? For one, it makes it easier to remember the shortcuts, and for two, you can position them so that they're close to the hand that is on the keyboard. Because generally you have one hand on the mouse and one hand on the keyboard, so to me it makes sense to set them up to suit yourself. So let's get into it. Right, so now that we're in Revit, the first thing I'm going to do is give you a quick example of how much faster it is to use keyboard shortcuts to get what you want done. So to change the assigned keys to the keyboard shortcuts, you can do it one of two ways. You can either use a keyboard shortcut to get to that dialog box, or you can do it the long way. We'll start with the long way, which is going up to File, going down to Options, then hitting User Interface, and then the Keyboard Shortcuts Customize button, and this will open up the dialog box. Now, for me, that took quite a long time. It was, 10 seconds I didn't have to waste doing that process. Instead, I would use the keyboard shortcut. So I'm going to cancel out of here. Cancel. Now the out of the box keyboard shortcut to get to that dialog box is KS. So you can see how much quicker that was. 2 keystrokes and you're there. To make it even quicker again, instead of going from the right hand side of the board to the left hand side of the board to press KS, you can assign different keys to it. So if we type in keyboard shortcuts, it will pop up with the commands that have keyboard in it. Keyboard shortcuts is what we want. I can click on the KS until it's highlighted and then click the remove button, and I can assign a new one if I would like to. So for me, I'm going to do KK. Press assign, press OK, and now in the future, if I want to go to keyboard shortcuts, all I have to do is press KK, and there. So it's great that Revit comes preloaded with some keyboard shortcuts, but in my experience, that while using the shortcuts out of the box is quicker than using the mouse to select a command, it's even faster if you can assign new keys to the shortcuts that you use on a regular basis. These may include, say, the wall command, the window and the door command, and the roof command. But the shortcuts that I find most useful are the modify commands. Things like copy, move, trim, and align. So what I try to do is position all my shortcuts as close to the left side of the keyboard as possible, because my right hand is on the mouse at all times and my left hand is on the keyboard. For example, the out of the box shortcut for align is A and L, and sure, that's the first 2 letters of align, but it means that my hand has to travel from the left hand side of the keyboard to the right hand side of the keyboard, and I also have to look down and take my eyes off the screen. So instead, I've replaced the shortcut for align and I've made it AA, which is on the left hand side, and it's the same letter. So I'm going to give you a quick little demo using the shortcut keys rather than the buttons along the user interface. So for starters, we're going to place some walls, which is WA. Then we're going to use, put a floor down, so FF. You can just hover over that and hit Tab. And then I use FE to finish this command off. Then I'm going to place some windows, which is WW. And then I'm going to place some doors, which is DR. And then I'm going to place a roof, which is RR. Select the level 1. That's fine. I'm going to give it a 600E, extend over wall core. Hit Tab. Pop that on and finish off, and we might place a bit of furniture in here, so I'm going to hit the number 2. That's my shortcut key for placing components. So 2. We might start with maybe a bed. Double. Hit the space bar to turn it around. Okay, now we might use the align keys, which is AA, to align it to the back wall. And maybe we'll do 2 and place a toilet. Okay, so space to move it around. Place it there. I'm going to use the SS this time, which is my move command. So SS. Now I've placed a reference plane in the model that's 450 millimeters away from the center, so that way I can just place it, and my distance from the center of the toilet to the wall is 450 mil, which is the standard toilet spacing in Australia. So just to double check that, I can hit my dimension shortcut, which is 1 to center, then you have 450 mil. So that's just a brief demonstration on how quick it can be if you're using your keyboard shortcuts rather than having to go up here all the time selecting your different things, especially when it comes to modifying, because when you're hitting modify, you've got to come up, open a new tab, try and find the one that you want, then go and select your element or have it pre-selected. So it's just a much quicker way of doing things. Now once you've assigned all your keyboard shortcuts, you can go and save them into a separate file or export them as a file and then save them somewhere on your computer where you can then reuse them. Say if you have another computer at home, or you have a laptop, or you are just upgrading your computer. So to do so, you go to the keyboard shortcut dialog box again, which for me will be KK, and I can choose to export or import here, so I'm going to export. I can choose somewhere to put them, so just say right here will be fine. I can name them. And then I can save. Press OK, and they're now saved. And that's all you need to do to save your keyboard shortcuts. So guys, this is just a short list of some of the keyboard shortcuts that I use all the time. Feel free to pause the video. If you like the video and it's helped you out in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe or maybe like the video, and hit the bell notification button if you would like to see more as I make more. Thanks very much.